And we are live. Damn, it feels good to see brothers up on it. What's going on, brothers? What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, my brothers? Ready? Man, let's get this thing started. We got 5 people watching right now. Let's get this thing started. If you can hear me, just put 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, just put 1 in the chat so I know that we are live together, brothers. If you can hear me, put 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, put 1 in the chat. I want to make sure that this audio is clear, loud, and clear. What's going on? What's going on? I see Auto Vanguard. Vanguard. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Thank you, ones. I see you, Ray Knowles. I see you, Ray Knowles. I see you, BK Barnes, Shahid. I see you, Bizaran. I see you, my brother. I see you, Bizaran. Rick Scorpio. I see you, Rick Scorpio. Neo, I believe. I see you, man. Dewan Hollis. I see you, my brother. Sergio, Jazz Tech, Very Little, GB Side, Waffle Weave. What's going on? What's going on? My man Show Enough is in the house. Awakened Black Heterosexual is in the house. I see Barry Hitler. I see J. R. Jizzle. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What, man? We go, brothers. We gonna talk today. We're gonna talk today, man. It has been a great week. This is Friday. March the 3rd, 2023. I plan on seeing Creed this weekend. I might go see it later on tonight. I might go see Creed 3 after of this stream tonight. But I need to get this in here, man. I got to get this in here. My brother. There go my brother. There go my brother like no other. My brother like no other. My brother like no other. Brandon Penn. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yes, I am your big brother. I am your big brother. I'm everybody's big brother. I'm your big brother. I'm your uncle. You brothers, all you black men who didn't have big brothers and uncles to lay the game on you and to tell you the things that are important for your own well-being and for your own ascension and uplift and empowerment and all that kind of stuff. I'm the brother. Shout out. I want to give a shout out to Dennis Sperling. Dennis Sperling, who's my contemporary. Dennis Sperling is my brother, and y'all call Dennis Sperling Uncle D. Y'all call Dennis Sperling. They call Dennis Sperling Uncle D. Y'all just call me Uncle Ron. I am Uncle Ron, the man professor in the house. That is who I am. That's who I am. We got to get this thing right. We don't need another generation of black men. We don't need another generation of black men to fall into the same old traps of older generations of black men. That's why we have this thing called the Black Manosphere in particular. That's why we have this thing called the Manosphere in general, because we don't want black men to repeat the same mistakes as black men who came before them. We don't want it. Thank you, my brother. Barry Little. What's going on? Thank you, Barry Little. Thank you for that, man. Thank you for that tuition, my brother. Thank you for that tuition, brother. We appreciate all the support always, all the time. Black men, this is for you. If you have ever been called corny, if you have ever been called corny, if you have ever been called lame, if you have ever been called weak, if you have ever been called any type of name that is defamatory, it defames your character, it undermines your intelligence, it belittles your entire existence. If you have been called any type of epithet, you've been called nerdy, you've been called geeky, You said that you were told that you don't fit in. People call you socially awkward and all that kind of stuff. This is for you. This is for all the black men. This is for all the black men who have been called corny. This is for all the black men who have been called lame. This is for all the black men who've been called nerds and geeks and dusty and awkward. All the black men who have been called weirdos. If you have been called a weirdo, this broadcast is for you. This is for you. Thank you, Brandon Penn. Thank you, Brandon Penn, for that additional support, my brother. Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. And I'm glad that you all are here, and I'm glad for your support. Y'all share, y'all like, and y'all subscribe. This is the Mad Professor broadcast. This is the Mad Professor broadcast. We are going live tonight. I am excited. I am excited because we're going to talk about stuff. This topic, brothers, this topic, brother, is a topic that all black men need to ride on. Every black man needs to ride on, especially you black men who have been counted out, especially you black men who have been underestimated. You were underestimated by your family. You were underestimated by the people in your community. You were underestimated by women. You were underestimated by other communities. You were just totally underestimated. And people didn't think that you would evolve to become anything, okay? Anything, but you stuck it out. You stuck it out, you stuck it out, you stuck it out, and you believed in yourself. You believed in yourself. You believed in yourself. You believed in your capacities. You believed in that you committed yourself to, brothers. This is the Mad Professor broadcast. I'm gonna take my time. I got my cigar. I got my cigar today. I got my cigar. I got my rum-soaked cigar, and we're gonna take our time with this. And we are talking about Michael B. Jordan and the long memory of corny black men. Michael B. Jordan and the long memory of corny black men. Oh my God. Y'all hit that Cash App $, BMI 3000, Cash App $ BMI 3000. This is the Mad Professor broadcast, and this is the first week of March, the very first week of March. Now, let me just put some stuff out front. Let me put some stuff out front. As the legend David Carroll would say, let's put some stuff out front. Let's put some stuff out front. Let us put some stuff out front, brothers. I want you to know, brothers, and Dennis Sperling has said this time and time again. I'm going to repeat him. It is greater later. I'm going to say this. It is greater later. It is greater later. It is greater later. This is particularly for you young black men. For you young black men, this broadcast today deals with all black men across age groups and categories and socioeconomic classes. This broadcast deals with all black men because there are black men from all groups and classes who can identify with all this stuff that we're going to talk about today. But in particular, I want to accent young black men. I want to accent young black men who are teenagers, the 15-year-olds. Let me go back, even the 14-year-olds, 14 years old, 15, 16, 17, 18, young black men who are 19, who are 20, who are 21, 22, 23, all the way up to 25. 15 to 25. I want to accent that. Heterosexual black man, you funny, man. Who did Ramil say was winning again? That's right. You see, let me tell you something. The universe, awakened black heterosexual, the universe has a way of correcting ignorance. The universe has a way of correcting. It corrects ignorance. It corrects ignorance. That's what the universe does. It corrects ignorance, okay? That's what the universe does. That's what the universe does. And when the universe corrects ignorance, we must acknowledge the corrections that have been ushered forth by the universe. Not only must we acknowledge the corrections which have been ushered in by the universe, but we must ride on that truth, that we have to ride on that wisdom, and we have to amplify it. We got to amplify it. We got to amplify it. You young black men, I told you in my last, let me tell you something. I told you guys, I got a cash app. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you, Sergio, for that cash app. Thank you, Sergio Rondor, for that cash app. We appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for that cash app, my brother. We appreciate you. Thank you, 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 thank you. Ray knows, that's right. Ray knows, that's out. Thank you for that support, Ray knows. That's right. Thank you, man. We're glad that you're here. BMI, BMH, SYSBM. This is a BMI, BMH, SYSBM broadcast. We are talking about black men's happiness. We're talking about black men's peace. And we're talking about Michael B. Jordan, because Michael B. Jordan is a symbol. Michael B. Jordan is an avatar. Michael B. Jordan is a walking billboard. He is a walking billboard of so much that I talk about on this channel. He is a walking billboard, especially Passport Bros. Let me say this to you guys. Let me say this as I put this out front. Michael B. Jordan is a walking billboard for Passport Bros, SYSBM. I'm going to say it again. Michael B. Jordan is a walking billboard for Passport Bros, SYSBM. Let me get back to you young black men. I told you on Sunday, y'all go back and watch my last streams. I did 2 streams on Sunday, 2 streams. I did one stream Sunday afternoon, and I did one stream Sunday evening on the so-called single and lonely young men, the so-called single and lonely young men of the United States. And I titled that stream, The New Free Agents. That's what I called it. And in that stream, I told you all to reject all this stuff that's coming out of the media that deals with what they call a masculine crisis. Reject it. There is no masculine crisis. If you are young, I'm going to repeat this again. If you are in your 20s, you don't have any kids, you don't have any debt, okay? You don't have any debt, you're not married, you don't have any real deep attachments, okay? You are not in a state of crisis. If you are 20-something years old and you don't have student loans, if you are 20-something years old and you don't have a mortgage, if you are 20-something years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, 18, 19, and you don't have to pay child support, you don't have 1 kid, you don't have 2 kids, you don't have 3 kids, you don't have no baby mamas. If you are in your 20s, if you are under the age of 25 and you don't have any baby mamas, let me say this again. You are under the age of 25 and you don't have any baby mamas. You are winning. You are winning. You are winning. You are winning. You are at the most advantageous position that any person can be throughout the entire life cycle. You young man. You young man. I don't care. I do not care if you are working at Walmart for $10 an hour. I don't care if you are working at Target for $10 an hour. I don't care if you are working in some warehouse. I don't care if you're working. I don't care if you're working at Jiffy Lube. I don't care if you're working at Quick Lube. I don't care if you're working at a grocery store. I don't care. I don't care. If your wages are low, I don't care. But if you are under the age of 25, you don't have no wife, you don't have no kids, you don't have no debt, you are winning. You're winning. You're winning. Now, what's important about that? Here's the thing. We're going to get to Michael B. Jordan. We're going to get to Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, 36. 36-year-old black man. 36. 36 years old. Y'all get me? 36-year-old black man, 36-year-old black man, no wife. I want y'all to get this. 36 years old, no wife, no kids, and he's super wealthy, super wealthy. So we cannot put him in the category of men who are burdened with debt. I'm going to say this: 36 years old, no wife, no kids, and wealthy. He is not burdened down with debt. And he is perhaps the most famous actor right now. People magazine labeled him the most sexiest man alive, the most sexiest man alive. People magazine. He was just wore a Hollywood Walk of Fame, and we're gonna talk about that. Michael B. Jordan started his path in entertainment when he was 10 years old. He's a millennial, born in 1987. He started his journey at the age of 10 as a little boy. At the age of 10, okay? 10. He's got close to 20 years. He's got close to 20 years of professional experience. Y'all get this? And thank you, Afro Nerd. Thank you, Afro Nerd. Thank you, Afro Nerd. He's got close to 20 years of experience, training under his belt as a thespian, as an actor, and now, including in his resume, a director. He has a resume. He has 20 years under his belt. And he is a young man. 36 years old is not old. 36 is not old. That is, we're talking about prime. We're talking about, well, not necessarily prime, but we're talking about high value, okay? He's not a child. He's not a boy. He's not a young man. He is a full-blown man. He is a full-blown man. He's a full-blown man. He's not a boy. He's not a child. He's not a young man. He is a grown man. And I told you guys, you young guys, I told you young guys in particular, it's very, very important that you maximize the capital that you have, that you maximize the time that you have. If you guys remember, I said, listen, I used Austin Holloman as an example. I used him as an example. I said, Austin Holloman, this guy is 23 years old. I said that by the time he is 33 years old, if he continues to do what he is doing and he continues to build value, you have a young guy who's 23 years old, who has no wife, who has no kids, and from what we know, he's not burdened down with a whole bunch of debt. If he continues on the track that he's on, and he continues to build value over the course of 10 years, by the time that he is 33 years old, he is going to be unstoppable. Once you get that 10 years under your belt, you've got to get that 10 years. Here's the thing. I need you guys to hear this. Get that 10 years under your belt. You young guys, especially if you're 20 years old, get that 10 years under your belt. Get that 10 years. 10 years. That's time. Time is value. Time is value. Time is value. What you do within that 10 years, what do you do between the time that you are 20 and 30 is going to darn near shape the course of the rest of your life. It's going to shape the course of the rest of your life between 20 and 30. between 20 and 30. But you don't have to wait, you young guys. You young guys who are 18 and 17, you don't have to wait till you're 20 to get the ball rolling. You guys, if you're 15 years old and you're watching this broadcast, you can start right there. You ain't got to wait. That's why time is important. And here is why time is important. Here's why time is important. The reason why time is important is because by the time you reach the age of 30, or once you get to the age of 35, once you get somewhere where Michael B. Jordan is, once you get to that place where Michael B. Jordan is, you understand? Once you've put in that time, once you have built value, the earlier stages in your life, stages of struggle, and that's what they are. The early stages in your life are ages of struggle. They are ages of building. They are ages of tumult. They are ages where you're finding yourself. You're trying to find your place in the world. When you're 15 years old, you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to find who you are. 16 years old, you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to find who you are. 20 years later, at the age of 35, you should already have a solid identity. You should have a solid identity by the time you turn 30, and more specifically, by the time you reach the age of 35, you should have a solid identity in terms of who you are as a human being. What do you do with your time? Michael B. Jordan worked. He worked in entertainment. I know. Here's the thing. I don't want y'all to dismiss. I don't want to minimize anything. I don't want to minimize the fact that Michael B. Jordan is in the world of entertainment. Listen, let me tell you something. There are a few child stars. Remember, Michael B. Jordan, most people became introduced to Michael B. Jordan through The Wire. Most people they were introduced to him. The Wire. When the Wire premiered in the early 2000s, he was a teen. He was a teen. He was a teen. He was a teen. He was a child actor. He was a child star. He was a child actor. And here's what I want you to understand. Here's what I want you to understand. The way entertainment has worked. If you study entertainment at any level, people who go into entertainment as children, and we saw this. I saw this with my generation. I saw this with Gary Coleman. I saw this with Todd Bridges. I saw this with Dana Plato. There are so many child stars from my generation who crashed and burned. They crashed and burned. They did not last. They were child stars on TV, and when they became adults, Hollywood basically spit them out. They spit them out. Michael B. Jordan did not have that fate. He didn't have that fate. The Wire was not the beginning and ending for Michael B. Jordan. The Wire. It was not the beginning and ending of Michael B. Jordan. The Wire was just the beginning for Michael B. Jordan. And he stayed productive. He's worked in that industry. He comes from a two-parent household. Here's the thing. Michael B. Jordan comes from a two-parent household, a mother and a father. That's very, very important. That's very, very significant. He's had parental support. His parents are still married, still together. And Michael B. Jordan, over the last almost 20 years, has built a very, very serious resume. He built a serious resume over the course, let's just say 20 years. He worked, remained busy, working as an actor, developing his craft. becoming a master at his craft. Becoming a master. And here's the thing, mastery. So the question, somebody asked the question, well, what do? You master your craft. What do you do within that 10 years? I'm not going to tell you what you should do. Here's the thing, guys. I'm not here to tell you what road to go down. I'm not here to tell you, I'm not here to tell you what road to go down. I'm not here to tell you to go down the road of STEM. I'm not here to tell you to go down the road of business, and STEM is good. STEM is very good. I'm not here to tell you to go down the road of business, and business is very good. I'm not here to tell you to go into the social media business, and there are people who are doing well in the social media business. I'm not here to tell you that you need to go to college, get you a college degree, an undergraduate degree, and then after that, get you a graduate degree, get you a master's degree. After you get your master's degree, go and get you a law degree. Or if you don't want to get a law degree, you can get you a higher degree, get you a PhD. I'm not here to tell you to do that. What I'm telling you is that if you're in your 20s, you need to identify that area of value that is going to fundamentally shape the future direction of your life. You must find that vocation, you must find that commitment, and you must master it. You must pursue it doggedly. You can't let it go. And I'm saying give yourself 10 years, 10 years to become a master at whatever it is that you're going to pursue. Become a master. It's called mastery. 10 years. And 10 years is just the beginning. 10 years is just the beginning, guys. It's just the beginning. And Michael B. Jordan, guys, Michael B. Jordan is just getting started. He's just getting started. Michael B. Jordan, there are two people that I want you to think about when we think about Michael B. Jordan. There are two people I want you to think about. I got to get this out. Number one, I want you to think about Denzel Washington. And number two, I want you to think about Leonardo DiCaprio. In many respects, Michael B. Jordan right now has been positioned to be the successor of Denzel Washington, the great actor. And Denzel has taken Michael B. Jordan under his wings. He's mentored him. He's in the position to be the successor of Denzel Washington, to have the type of iconography that Denzel Washington has as a master actor, someone who has mastered his craft, his skill, and what have you, and who has directed films. That's Michael B. Jordan. Although he is positioned to be the next Denzel Washington, Michael B. Jordan, I predict, this is my prediction. My prediction is that Michael B. Jordan is going to surpass Denzel Washington in terms of all of his iconography. Now, I know for some of you guys, you might say that this is a stretch or whatever. You might think that this is, I'm taking it too far. But what I'm saying to you is that in terms of what the way technology is today, and the way the world is in terms of globalization, I think that Michael B. Jordan is going to go way beyond Denzel Washington in terms of his fame, his glory, and his accolades. Because Denzel Washington, he's praised in America You know, he's been highly praised in Black America, but Denzel Washington never was given the platform to become a mega global superstar. Denzel Washington is known across the world, but to be a mega global superstar. I don't want to go into the dynamics and the mechanics of that, but I'm just going to say that because of his era, because Michael B. Jordan lives in a different era, because he is in a different era, he is in a position to surpass Denzel Washington. Okay? He's in a position to surpass Denzel Washington, kind of like how Michael Jordan surpassed Magic Johnson. Okay? Michael Jordan surpassed Magic Johnson and a whole bunch of other people. But Magic Johnson's generation put Michael Jordan in the position to surpass them. Okay? So when I say global megalodome, when I say megastar, hold on. When I say megastar, global megastar, I have to insert the white dudes. I have to insert Leonardo DiCaprio. When you talk about megastar, okay? I got to insert that guy. And I have to also add the fact that there's a difference between, you know, Denzel and DiCaprio in terms of Michael B. Jordan. Denzel Washington is married. Denzel Washington has kids. He has a daughter. He has a son. He has a son who's an actor and everything like that. Denzel is a married Black man. And he's been married for like 40 some odd years. There's a difference. Leonardo DiCaprio, y'all know what they're saying about DiCaprio now, but DiCaprio never been married. DiCaprio is my age. I'm 49 years old. DiCaprio, we are both the same age. It doesn't look like DiCaprio is going to ever get married. But DiCaprio he's almost like Jack Nicholson. Some of you guys may be old enough to know the actor Jack Nicholson. Okay, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson was a dude, iconic, never got married, had kids out of marriage. Jack Nicholson had kids out of marriage. Jack Nicholson dated a lot of younger women. Most of the women that he dated were younger. Most of the women that he had babies with were significantly younger than him. Okay. Jack Nicholson, you know, you see in the old Lakers footage, he's ringside at the Lakers games and all that kind of stuff. Michael B. Jordan is hovering in that world. He is hovering in that world of a Leonardo DiCaprio and a Jack Nicholson. Okay. All right. In terms of being a single guy who is a superstar, a bachelor superstar. That's Michael B. Jordan. Shout out to Pure Yang. Shout out to you, my brother. Pure Yang says, remember the female who said she made fun of his head shots that he brought to school, but like you said, Michael had both parents and thus was able to receive instruction, which allowed him to become a star as a teen. Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. I want to we're giving a salute to this brother. The other thing about Michael B. Jordan and these other guys, Denzel Washington and Leonardo DiCaprio in particular, and I could throw in Keanu Reeves. I want to, let's throw in Keanu Reeves too. I'm putting him in the universe. Michael B. Jordan. We're talking about Michael B. Jordan. You've got Denzel Washington. You've got Leonardo DiCaprio, and now I'm adding an extra person, Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, John Wick guy, the John Wick guy. Keanu Reeves is 50 years, is like 52 years old right now. Superstar, never been married, no kids. These guys, they built resumes over time, especially when they were young, the first 10 years, between the ages of 20 and 30, they built significant resumes. And people have always been kind of fascinated with them. And these guys, these are guys who never gave themselves over to, let's just say, the chattering media. What do I mean by that? Denzel Washington, for most of his career, he did not give interviews. For a long time in his career, Denzel Washington would not give interviews. Or if he did give interviews, they were always very brief. He would manage the type of questions that interview people would ask him. He would never divulge details about his life, his personal life. He would always focus the interview on whatever films that were being premiered or what have you. He always avoided the gossip, all the gossip people. Denzel Washington never got caught up in the whole gossip industrial complex. And the same is true for Keanu Reeves and Leonardo DiCaprio. They quietly went about doing what they did. They quietly went about doing what they did in their endeavors. And never responded to the gossip that was surrounding them. Never responded. And that's instructive for you guys. That's instructive. Now, let's really dig down. Let's really dig down, guys. It's important, you corny guys. Let's get into this. You corny and nerdy guys who were written off. You corny guys. You corny guys. You nerdy guys. You young guys who are nerdy. You young guys who are not into street stuff. And you're not into chaotic things. You young guys who are not trying to bend over backwards to be popular among the females in your cohort. And because you don't bend over backwards to be popular among the female in your cohort, they see you as weird or strange, nerdy, geeky, whatever. And they underestimate you. All I want to say to you guys is to remember from whence you came. Remember it. Remember where you came from. Remember those origins. Never let it go. Never forget. Never forget. Never forget. And I want you to use those moments and those experiences as drivers. Those things should drive you. Those things should drive you to be the greatest. To drive you to be, you know, it's cliche to say the best version of yourselves, to drive you to reach peak value, okay? That's what you guys should be doing. Now, let's get into something, guys. I want to get into this. I want to show y'all this article. I'm not going to spend too much time on this article, but I want to look at this. I just put this up. Y'all bear with me. Shout out to all the brothers in the house. We thank your support. The Greek Underground, I see you, man. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. 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 Good to see you, my brother. I see all you guys up in here. We're talking about the long memory of black men, the long memory. I don't know what that I don't want to invoke the name. I don't want to invoke the name of that woman who apparently he was in high school with. I don't want to invoke her name. But she's eating cake right now. She's eating cake right now. I just pulled this up. This calls from Corny, far from Corny. Michael B. Jordan receives star on a Hollywood star. Look at this guy, star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm going to read this. It says, Michael B. Jordan has been the talk of the internet, but his latest news has nothing to do with the debate about him being corny. Looking at you, Joe Budden. Yeah, Joe Budden can kick rocks. Kick rocks, Joe Budden. We heard what you said. Yeah. yeah, we heard what you said. Easily one of the hottest actors, Michael B. Jordan now has a star on the Walk of Fame, one of Hollywood's most significant accomplishments, Wednesday, March 1st. The honor was first announced by the Hollywood Fame Selection Panel in 2021, and Jordan's name was on a list that included television mogul Byron Allen and the late hip-hop star Nipsey Hussle. His friend and collaborator, Black Panther director Ryan Coogler, and his new buddy, Creed co-star John Majors, were on hand to deliver kind words about Jordan before he was given his star and plaque. This latest accomplishment in his career came ahead of Creed 3's release, which Jordan directed, and critics are raying is the best film in the boxing franchise. Okay, it's the best film. This is probably one of the most unforgettable weeks I've had, Jordan said at the ceremony. I'm extremely humbled and grateful to be here. I know it's not a small achievement. It's not lost on me how special this moment is and what this represents in our community so far. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Ryan Coogler and Jordan are now formidable Hollywood 1-2 punch since Fruitvale Station. Coogler, see, this is why black men need to work together. Y'all see this? This is important for black men. This is why black men need to collaborate. This is why black men need to do things together, okay? We need to put down all these petty animosities and beefs and what have you, and look at the long game, look at the broad vision. These guys have been working together for over 10 years, okay? These two guys have been working together for over 10 years, producing content. This is what black men need to learn from. This is the kind of stuff that black men need to be doing. The rest is history. After that, with Jordan and Coogler working on other films like the first Creed film and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. For his speech, John Majors had nothing but kind words about his buddy, pointing out to the long days on Creed. They put that work in, guys. Y'all see that? And how Jordan's determination. Today, brother, you go from man to God. I want y'all to look at that. Today, brother, you go from man to God. He's calling him God. You sit among Olympians. I honor you. I love you. We are all so proud to call you our son, our brother, but chiefly, I'm extremely honored to call you my friend. No man on the planet I know deserves it more. I love you to the moon and back. Majors continue. This is it, my brothers. This is it. This is what we're talking about, right? This is it. That's what we're talking about. This is what we are talking about right here. Y'all see that? Y'all see the image? You see this? You see this? She called him corny. She called him corny. Corny is another way of saying that you're lame. Corny is another way of saying that you're not cool. Corny is another way of saying that you don't have any edge. Corny is another way of saying that you're not street enough. Corny is another way of saying that you are not swaggerlicious. Corny is a way to remove you It is a way to remove you from the fraternity of coolness. It is to take you out of the population of the popular and the popular kids and the popular people. That's what Corny does. It is to remove you from the so-called select people. It is to remove you from the so-called tastemakers. That's what Corny does. Corny says that there's something about you that makes you undesirable. It makes you unattractive. And the way in which she said it, and the way in which it was articulated, it was clear that Corny had something to do with his entire existence as a human being, his entire existence, and even his future. Even his future. You lame, you corny, you're not going anywhere. You're not nobody that we should take seriously. That's what it is. We should not take you seriously because you are corny. We should not take you seriously because we see you as uncool. We should not take you seriously because you are not the type of popular personage that we value. Do you know who was called corny? Do you know who was called? Y'all see this? Do you know who was called corny? Let me get my screen. Let me go back to my let me go back live so y'all can see me. Do you know who was called corny? Y'all know who this is? Y'all see this? Do y'all see this? He was called corny. You see this? This man is a television producer. Now he's making movies. This man was called corny. Donald Glover was called corny. Do you know who else was called? Do you know who was called corny? Do y'all see this? He was called corny. He was called corny. You see this? Y'all look at this. Jordan Peele. He was called corny. He was called corny. If you are smart, they will call you corny. If you are intellectual, they will call you corny. If you are a scholar, they will call you corny. If you speak standard English, they will call you corny. If you don't do dumb shit to prove your manhood with some stupid ass motherfuckers in the street, they will call you corny. They don't call the drug dealers corny. They don't call it the robbers and the killers and the murderers and all of them. They don't call them corny. If you don't play football, they're going to call you corny. If you don't play basketball, they're going to call you corny. If you like to read books, they're going to call you corny. If you like math or science, they're going to call you corny. If you like anime, they're going to call you corny. These low intelligent, undercultured, under-socialized, illiterate people driven by immediate gratification, caught up in ratchet culture, the ghetto, because the female who called him Corny, it was quite obvious that this is a female whose head is in the gutter. In the gutter. You can tell when she spoke to him on that red carpet, you can tell when he interacted with her that her head was in the gutter years after she initially saw him as corny. Still in the gutter, doing gutter gossip. That's what they are, gutter gossip, entertainment. Look at where his life is and look at where her life is. And it is obvious that her outcomes are a reflection of her gutter mentality. It's obvious. Where she is in life, I suspect, and I think I'm right about this, that where she is in life is a result of her gutter mentality. She had a gutter mentality when they were kids, and as an adult, she still has a gutter mentality. Thank you, African sci-fi scholar. Wise words. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. A gutter mentality. This is a serious thing. This is a serious thing. This is a serious thing, especially for Black males. This is a serious thing for Black males, particularly Black boys and Black male youth. This is a very serious thing. Because the boys who get titled and labeled corny, those boys have absolutely no support in Black culture, particularly the working class and among the poor, maybe among the middle class. Maybe among Black middle class people, they have more support, but among the vast majority of Black people, they have no support. Michael B. Jordan is a product of a two-parent household. He has a mother and a father who've been together and are still together. Okay? They supported his interests. Helped develop him. In those households, in general, it's okay to be corny. But I'm just going to say this, in Black society that is not middle class, and Black society that's lower class and even lower middle class, working class, Black boys have a hard time. They just have a hard time. Black boys who are smart, they have a hard time. They just do. Smart Black boys who grew up in poverty, they have a hard time. Smart Black youth, Black male youth who are the products of poverty, and they're not interested in football, they're not interested in basketball, they don't want to be rappers, they don't want to go out into the streets and prove whatever, they have a hard time. They have a hard time. We don't support precocious black boys. We don't support them. They get demonized. They get picked on. They get ridiculed. We don't support them. The vast majority of Black people don't support them. The boys pick on them. Other black boys pick on them, and black girls, they pick on them. I got picked on. I got picked on as a black boy. I got picked on. I got picked on as a black male youth. I was never called corny, but I got picked on and ridiculed because I was different. People saw something different in me. I like to draw. I like comic books. I like art. I performed in plays. I performed in school plays when I was a little boy. I was in school plays as a little boy. I loved to act as a little boy in school plays. Let's see. They have a hard time. Hold on. I want to show you something. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. Because we got a lot of people. I want to show you something. This is what I'm talking about right here. You see this right here? This is it. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this stream right here. This is why I'm doing the stream. Y'all see what she said? You must grow past your childhood traumas. Yeah, you know what, Samantha? I agree with you absolutely. I agree. You must grow past them. You are absolutely right. Y'all see this comment, guys? Samantha Reed says that you must grow past your childhood traumas. I agree with you. Absolutely. 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 But Samantha Reed, what I want to say to you, and I want to say to every other woman who says the same thing that you say, and all the women who say that to black men who've been called corny, who've been picked on, who've been called lame, and to all the black men right now in 21st century America in 2023 who are called dusties, what I want to say to you is, yes, we grow past our traumas, but we don't forget our traumas. Let me say that again, brothers. Let me say that to you, sister and sisters, and everybody else who's listening. We grow past our traumas. Yes, we do, because we get older, we mature, we evolve, we grow past our traumas, but we don't forget our traumas. We don't forget. We do not forget. And you black man, you black men, you corny black men, all you corny black men who are here with me this afternoon, don't you ever, 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 ever forget the people who called you corny and dusty and lame. Don't you ever forget. Michael B. Jordan reminded her. Michael B. Jordan reminded her of what she said. And when you saw the look on his face, and he did it dignified, and he had a dignified smirk, and he kind of looked at her like she was pathetic. He was like, you pathetic soul, you pathetic soul, you pathetic soul. He didn't get mad, he didn't yell, he didn't scream. He just like, this camera is right here. You are at my premiere. You are at my premiere. I am at the top of my career. I am exploding right now, right in front of you. And you know what? I really don't have to. Here's the thing. I really don't have to say anything to you. Michael B. Jordan could have just been gangster about it. Michael B. Jordan could have been gangster and just completely ignored her. Once she rolled up on him with them cameras and that microphone, Michael B. Jordan could have been completely gangster and was like, get the hell away from me. He could have just walked away. He could have been like, be please, be please, be please, bitch please. Get out my face. Get the fuck out my face. He could have did that. But he sat there and he allowed her to suck that up. She had to suck it up and oh yeah, you reminded her. He did it. And it was still kind of gangster now. It was still gangster now. The way he did it was kind of gangster now. It was kind of gangster. I ain't gonna lie. It was kind of gangster. Never forget. Never. Long memory. Corny black men should always have long memory. Have long memory. Long memory. Don't you ever forget. Long memory. They talked about you like you were a dog when you were a kid or a teenager or a young man. They underestimated you. In fact, they did stuff to undermine you. Those people like her, it was not just talk. There are people like her. Not only do they utter stuff like that and say that you're corny, but people like that, they would do things to undermine you. They would do things to ruffle your feathers. Again, a lot of times people who have that mentality, they deal with all kinds of bullying. It's bullying. And they support bullying. So you don't forget none of that stuff. Never forget it. Never forget. Every black man who's been called corny, if you are a 40-year-old black man and you remember those days when you were called corny, you need to remember them days. You need that. Never forget that. Don't you ever forget. And see, people like her, she want black men to forget. People like her want black men to forget. You know why? You know why? You know why people like her want black men to forget? They want black men to forget so that years later they can come back. Years later, they can come back and try to eat off the value that you have built for your life. That's why. You see, that girl L'Oreal, she was hoping that Michael B. Jordan didn't even think about the fact that she called him corny. She was hoping that Michael B. Jordan had forgotten that she had called him corny. She was hoping that he had forgotten that. And why was she hoping that? So that right now in this moment, she can come up and she can get an interview and she can give future interviews from this megastar so that she can eat off of him. So that she can get in good graces with him. But I tell you, I bet that's the last time. I can guarantee you that's probably going to be the last time that she ever has any type of media interaction with Michael B. Jordan. I can almost guarantee you that. This woman has been so embarrassed by this whole situation that I doubt ever again that she would ever have an opportunity to stand in front of Michael B. Jordan with a microphone and a camera and talk to him. I can guarantee you that. Thank you, Akatunde Bowden. Thank you, Akatunde Bowden. This is the Mad Professor broadcast. The Mad Professor broadcast. We're talking about Michael B. Jordan and the long memory of corny black men. The long memory of corny black men. We don't forget. The corny black man should not forget and never forget the black man who was called corny. And I want to say this to you guys. Thank you, Akatunde, for that super chat. Yes, I'm preaching. I'm preaching on this. Most of you guys identify with what's going on. You know what I'm talking about. They want you to forget. They want you to forget. All that stuff they talked about. These women have talked about Michael B. Jordan for years. Think about this now. And it's not just when he was a kid. I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan. They've been talking about Michael B. Jordan, especially these black women, for more than a decade. They got everything to say about his personal life, everything to say about his character, everything. And this brother, he's been quiet. He's been real quiet. His preferences, especially who he's dated and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you, I can understand. I can understand B. Jordan. I understand. If Michael B. Jordan marries a Latina, if Michael B. Jordan marries an Asian woman, if Michael B. Jordan marries a woman from the continent of Africa, or if Michael B. Jordan marries a woman from the Caribbean, if Michael B. Jordan marries a woman who is not an American black woman, you know why? You know why? This is SYSBM passport bro stuff. If you don't know, this is SYSBM passport bro stuff. Yes, we have these experiences when we were kids, when we were growing up, then they're there. And yeah, they can be traumatic. And yes, we overcome the trauma and all that kind of stuff, but you never forget. You never forget. And don't you ever allow these people to convince you that you need to forget. And even if you have a chip on your shoulder, if you are a corny black man with a chip on your shoulder, you will find. If you are a corny black man, if you are a lame black man, and you right now, you are in your 30s, you are 31 years old, you are 35 years old, you're 38 years old, and you got a chip on your shoulder because of that corny and lame stuff that you dealt with in your early years, your chip is justified. I'm gonna tell you that straight up there. If you have a chip on your shoulder as a black man because of that corny stuff that you dealt with when you were younger, and you got a chip on your shoulder, your chip is justified. And I don't want you to apologize. And you don't need to apologize for having a chip on your shoulder. Don't apologize to nobody. Real peer revelate, that's right. Always have long memory. Always have long memory. Don't forget. And sometimes, like Michael B. Jordan, you're going to have to remind people. You're going to have to remind people of stuff. You're going to have to, sometimes you're going to have to remind people of stuff that they've either forgotten, or you're going to have to remind people of stuff that they just assumed that you just cast aside and that you just, you let go and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you got to remind people of stuff. You got to remind people of stuff. Now, what I want to say to you young guys, I want to say this to you young guys. This is some game. This is the game that I want to say to you young guys, because I want to spare. I want to spare you young guys a lot of angst. I want to spare you guys a lot of angst. And what do I mean by that? You young guys, You young guys who are in your 20s, you young guys who are 19, 18 years old or whatever, whenever you encounter people who call you corny, if you are labeled corny or lame or dusty by any group of people or population or any association, if you find yourself in a company of people who see you as corny and lame, let me say this again. If you were 18, 19, 21, 23, and you find yourself in a company, you find yourself in an association of people who see you as corny, they see you as lame, what I need you to do is I need you to sever your ties from those people. Always have long memory. Thank you, Red Pill Revelator. I need you to sever your ties. I need you to get rid of people. I need you to get, if you got people in your life who think you're corny, you need to get those people out your life. If you got people if you got people in your life or in close proximity to you who see you as corny and they see you as lame, you need to get those people out of your life. Get rid of them. Separate yourself from them. Anyone who sees you as lame, corny, or dusty or whatever is somebody whose company you don't need to be in. You just don't. These people, they will bring you down. They will bring you down to the gutter where they are. They will bring you down. Because people like that, who talk like that, if not all of their brain is in the gutter, if not all of their brain is in the gutter, at least half of their brain is in the gutter. At least half. If all of their brain is not in the gutter, at least half of their brain is in the gutter. You need to sever your ties from people. You guys, and here's the game with the females, brother. If you are dating a woman or you find yourself interacting with a female that you are interested in romantically or sexually or whatever, if you've been dating a woman and y'all got, y'all been vibing or whatever, if this woman in your interactions at any time says that you are corny, or in your interactions, if she says that you are lame, you need to cut her off. I'm telling you. If a female ever calls you lame and you've been trying to date her and you've been trying to romance her, you need to cut that female off. If she calls you corny, if she calls you weird, if she says you're a geek or anything like that, you need to cut her off. If she says you're awkward, if the female says that you're awkward, you need to cut her off. Get the woman out your life. Get her out your life. You don't need to deal with people like that. You don't need to deal with women like that. You don't need to deal with men like that. You don't deal with anybody like that. White, black, blue, green, polka dot, yellow, plaid. I don't care who they are, where they come from. If they see you that way, sever your ties from them. Because you can't win with people like that. You can't win with people like that. Because these are gutter minded people. They're gutter minded. Their mind's in the gutter. They like ignorance. These are people who worship ignorance. They think that being ignorant is a virtue. They think that there's something wrong with being smart. They think there's something wrong with being stoic, with being cool and calculative. So you saw the thumbnail, right? You saw the thumbnail. So the female in the thumbnail says that Michael B. Jordan, I want y'all to get like this. He said Michael B. Jordan looks like that kind of guy who's responsible. She said Michael B. Jordan looks like the type of guy who knows where his birth certificate is. That's in the thumbnail. I got that from social media. Female says Michael B. Jordan looks like a responsible person. And the way in which she framed it, it's like being a responsible person is like being weird. It's abnormal. Michael B. Jordan is the kind of person who knows where his birth certificate is. The way she framed it and the way they frame Michael B. Jordan suggests that being responsible, knowing where your birth certificate is, and she even went further to say that he has his birth certificate in a file along with other documents pertaining to his life. And she said that again in a way that suggests that there was something abnormal about that. That being responsible, that being upright, that being a gentleman, that being a black man who is not full of drama and chaos, that's what it is. That being a black man who is not full of drama and chaos is abnormal. There is something deviant about being a black man whose life is reflective of discipline and order. You have discipline, order, and structure in your life. And for some people, if you are a black man who has those attributes, you are abnormal. You are a deviant. You're a deviant. You're a weirdo. Because the expectation is that black men or black men are supposed to live chaotic lives. And this is the ignorance. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the younger generation. I saw some of this ignorance in my generation, but it wasn't that bad. I saw some of this ignorance in my generation, but we weren't that bad. We still, in my generation, because our parents, we still came from a legacy of black culture where people still valued order and structure. But with each generation that has declined. With each generation, the value for structure, order, and discipline, and those things, having standards, being disciplined, having a long-term goal, not being driven by immediate gratification, making long-term plans. That's why I tell y'all, think about the next 10 years. That whole enterprise, it's falling on hard times. That's right, African sci-fi scholar. He said, as a fellow corny black man who was now building successfully in his purpose, that long memory comes in handy when you need that same energy when you get tired. Absolutely, absolutely, because you're gonna get tired. Thank you for that, African sci-fi scholar. You best believe that you're gonna get tired. You're gonna get worn out because we're human. It happens. We're gonna get tired. We experience fatigue. Not only do we get tired, guys, but we deal with trials and tribulations. We deal with adversity. I want to thank Sauchi. I want to thank Sauchi for that cash app. I want to thank Sauchi for that cash app. And thank you for that reference for The Anatomy of Female Power by Chinweezu. Y'all read that book, The Anatomy of Female Power. The Anatomy of Female Power. Thank you for that cash app, my brother. It's the Sauchi gives me the cash app. Peace to you, my brother. You're going to deal with adversity. And you have the internal equipment to deal with adversity, because if you were that corny dude, if you were that nerdy dude, that geeky dude, if you were that guy who was shunned or whatever and bullied, and you were able to endure, if you were able to endure those things and you were able to achieve success in the face of those things, okay, that means that you already have something built within you to help you go forward whenever you are faced with other types of challenges and adversity. It motivates you. And it motivates you when you have failure, because sometimes you're going to have failure. Sometimes you're going to have failure in life. Sometimes you're going to experience failure. And in those things, in those moments when you experience failure, you're going to have to be able to get up. You said whenever you've been knocked down or whatever, whenever you've been kicked out, you got to be able to pick yourself up and keep on going. You got to be able to do that. And what do? You retrieve those memories. You retrieve those memories when people counted you out. You retrieve those memories when people second guessed you, when people underestimated you. You have to go back to those moments and you have to use those moments as motivating factors to take you to where you need to go. Afro No Radio says, let's shut it down, Doc. Explain current women's culture seeking money retribution for the past. Oh my God, Jordan just reversed it. What was Me Too? Look at that. Thank you, Afro Nerd. Thank you. Women don't forget. Afro Nerd is right. Let me say it again. Let us shut down. Let's shut it down. Explain women's current culture seeking money retribution for past events by men. Jordan just reversed it. What was Me Too? Absolutely right. Women don't forget. Women don't forget anything. They don't forget anything. Afro Nerd is right. Me Too. Hey guys, so before I came on YouTube, I was watching Hulu. Before I came here, I was watching there's a documentary on Hugh Hefner. Y'all know Hugh Hefner, the Playboy guy. Hugh Hefner died, I think, last year. He died last year. And they got a whole documentary series on Hugh Hefner and the Playboy bunnies. And it's basically a documentary about a whole bunch of women who are over the age of 40. They're between 40 and like 70. There's a whole bunch of white women who work for Hugh Hefner. A whole bunch of white women who worked for Hugh Hefner when they were in their 20s. They worked for Hugh Hefner when they were in their 20s, and now these women are like 45 and 50 and 70 and stuff like that. They're like 70 years old right now. And the whole documentary was about how Hugh Hefner took advantage of them and how they were so young and they didn't know what they were doing and blah, 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 blah. And he did this, he did that, blah, 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 blah. The man just died. He just died. Me Too took off. Me Too took off. He was still alive when Me Too took off. Hugh Hefner, he was still alive. Bill Cosby was in the Playboy mansion. They took Bill Cosby down. They took Weinstein down. Same, dynamic. So now they're in a documentary. These women are in a documentary talking about how bad Hugh Hefner did them. They got long memory. No one tells them that they need to move on. No one tells these women that they need to grow up or evolve. No one tells them. But everybody wants to tell a man that he needs to move on. He needs to evolve. He needs to grow past his pain. He needs to move on. They want to tell black men that. And we say, no, black man, have long memory. Have long memory. Long. Don't you ever forget. Thank you, Afro Nerd. And see, that's what the black manosphere is all about. I want you to tell you something. The black manosphere is about long memory. The Black manosphere is about long memory. Now we're gonna get deep. We're gonna get deep. The Black manosphere is about long memory. Whenever someone like Obsidian, Mumia Ali, or Dennis Sperling, or myself, or Dr. T.S. Johnson, whenever we talk about Oprah Winfrey, listen, whenever you got guys, or Angry Man talks about this, or anybody else, whenever you have guys who talk about those 25 years that Oprah Winfrey was on television, Oprah Winfrey was on television for 25 years. That's a quarter of a century. Oprah Winfrey was on television for 25 years, and she used her platform to throw darts at Black men. That woman destroyed marriages. Oprah Winfrey destroyed, let me tell you something. Oprah Winfrey destroyed marriages. There were women divorced their husbands as a result of them listening to Oprah Winfrey. And if you live through that, like I did, I lived through it. There's so many Black men who were in their 40s and 50s. There's so many Black men from my generation. We lived through that. Having the reputation of Black men tarnished on national television. And not only that, you had other people. You had Sally Jesse Raphael. You had Ricky Lake. And then you had all the novelists. You had your Terry McMillan, whose books became films. And you had a whole bunch of, you had all sorts of media productions. You had all this stuff that the feminists were saying, the Black feminists in particular, years. They put the stuff in their books, Bell Hooks, Alice Walker, Patricia Hill Collins, Michelle Wallace. They went on national TV. They went on national TV, ABC News, and said that Black men did not cut the mustard when it came down to marriage, family, dating, and all that kind of stuff, saying that Black men basically are dusty. And because Black men are dusty, you have these high achieving professional Black women who are out here unmarried and single, can't find husbands because Black men are basically dusty. They said that we were in jail. They said that we were gay. That's what they said. They called us gay. They say Black men are either two major things. He said you're in jail or you're a criminal. Basically, you're a criminal. You've been criminalized. You've been so criminalized that you can't even produce any value in society. Number one, and number two, you're a homosexual. You're gay. That's what they said. They said Black men, the download, the whole download phenomenon. They put it all on Black men. So all Black men on the download. They did that for years. So when R. Kelly put out that movie, Trapped in the Closet, and he did a whole album called Trapped in the Closet, the soundtrack, with all those chapters, R. Kelly was just reflecting what was going on in the culture at that particular time. They were calling us gay. They said we were gay and we were jailbirds. And they said that we were in jail screwing each other. Not only that, we were gay, we jailbirds, and we infecting Black women with HIV/AIDS. HIV. They said we were spreading HIV. And when I was coming up, it wasn't unusual. It wasn't unusual for a woman to wonder what my sexual orientation is, to wonder if I'm a gay man, to only wonder if I'm a gay man because black women were talking about black men, saying that they were saying stuff like the half of the black population is gay and that they infected black women with HIV. We on the down low. So that messed up the whole dating market in the 90s and early 2000s. We supposed to forget that? Black men, are we supposed to forget that? How many decades did black women say that black men were deadbeat dads? How many decades? How many decades was it said that black men are deadbeat dads? How many decades? I remember the deadbeat dad stuff back in the 80s when I was a teenager. I heard it when I was a teenager. I heard the whole deadbeat dad thing when I was in my 20s. I heard the deadbeat dad thing up into my 30s. And the only thing that put a dent into the deadbeat dad rhetoric was the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. So at around 2016, 2017, the Centers for Disease Control put out a study on fathers in the United States, which indicated that black men are the most involved fathers in the lives of their children than any other demographic in the United States. That's recent. That's 2016, 2017. I'll say 2016. That's when the Center for Disease Controls put that study out. But that was after decades and decades of women saying that black men are deadbeat dads. So we're supposed to forget that? We're supposed to forget that? This is why we have the black manosphere. We have the black manosphere because we have long memory. That's why we have the manosphere. It's called long memory. Cash App $BMI, Cash App $BMI, Cash App $BMI. Thank you for that. Jamari81, thank you for that. Cash App $BMI. Long memory. Michael B. Jordan and the long memory of corny black men. Passport game, we up. Passport gang, we up. SYSBM. Save yourself, black man. Save yourself, black man. This is a Save Yourself, Black Man broadcast. This is March the 3rd, 2023. Save yourself, black man. Thank you, Jamar, for that. Appreciate it. You better not forget. You better not forget. Long memory. Long memory. That's why Passport Bros exist. That's why we have Passport Bros. See, Passport Bros did not just emerge out of thin air. It didn't emerge out of thin air, guys. It didn't emerge. It didn't emerge. You see, it just didn't emerge. It didn't just emerge. You see, we've had a long history and experience of defamation, the defamation of black men, defamation. And that's what the thing about corniness is. It's defamation. You defame a person. This is defamation. When they call you corny, they're defaming your character and existence. But we're talking about defamation. And there has to be a response to defamation. There has to be a response to it. And the response is to sever your ties. You sever your ties. You challenge the corny narrative. You challenge the corny the defamation. You challenge it directly. You challenge it. You call it out for what it is. You call it out. Because Michael B. Jordan called it out. He said, yeah, you called me corny. You said I'm corny. He told her in her face. You said that. Those are your words, not mine. You said that I'm corny. And she tried to backtrack. She said, oh no, I didn't say that. I didn't, oh no, I didn't say that. I didn't call you corny. I didn't call you corny. I didn't call you no. Yeah, I heard what you said. You called me corny. That's challenging it directly. You challenge that stuff directly. You let them know. No, I haven't forgotten. I heard what you said. Now, the other response is to sever ties. After you've challenged it directly, I heard what you said, and this is what you've said, and everybody knows what you said, and I'm saying this publicly to you in front of the world. This is what you said. That's the first part. That's the first part. You challenge it directly, publicly. The second part is to sever your ties from the people who have regarded you as being corny, the people who have defamed your name. That's what Passport Bros is. You sever your ties from those people who have defamed you. Sever your ties. Sever your ties. That's the Passport Bros. If there's any, if you don't have, if you guys do not have a rationale, if you don't have, I'm not saying this, yeah, if you don't have a rationale for Passport Bros now, which includes this, I don't know what to say, guys. And when you think about Michael B. Jordan's life, and you think about all the stuff, you see all the stuff that this group of females have piled on this man. They've been policing him. They've been policing him for the longest. They've been policing him for the longest and saying stuff about him. And he hadn't clapped back on them. He hadn't clapped back on them when you think about that. He's still being diplomatic. But he's justified. He got him a new woman. He got him a new woman. And the female, she went further, she was like talking about him. And I mean, this woman went so far as to say that Michael B. Jordan somehow used Lori Harvey, okay, as a way of responding to Black women's criticisms of him, because he has a thing for Latinas. He got a thing for non-Black women. People have their preferences and all that kind of stuff. It couldn't be the case that he was very attracted to her. It couldn't be the case that he was really into her. It couldn't be the case that he wanted to really make something happen with her. That couldn't be the case. He was only with this young woman simply because he was trying to prove a point to Black women. He was trying to cater to Black women. That's why he got with this Black woman, Lori Harvey. Passport Bros. Can you imagine the number of Passport Bros that exist? Can you imagine? And it's not hard to imagine. I think that the vast majority of passport bros are, or if not the majority, but there are a lot of passport bros who are like Michael B. Jordan. I really believe that. I think there are a lot of passport bros who've had those experiences. I think that there are a lot of passport bros who are basically so-called corny black men, the so-called lame black men. And like Michael B. Jordan, these black men have done very well for themselves in life. These black men have done well for themselves. And they are no longer dealing with their population of women who saw them as corny, who saw them as lame, the women who want them to forget that they called uh, them corny and lame. Don't you ever forget. Don't you ever forget. SYSBM. This is for black men. Michael B. Jordan is a winner. You young black men, you young black men, I want you to understand that it is greater later. It is greater later. Put your nose to the grind. Do what you got to do to build value. To build value. From the age of 20 to 30, build that resume. Build that resume of value. A resume of value from age 20 to 30. And you will see your investment. You will see a return on your investment after that 10 years. And if you do it for as long as 20 years, here's the thing. Again, Michael B. Jordan been doing it for close to 20 years. He's at the cusp of 20. He's been doing it for close to 20 years. He's still a young man. And look at the return that he's got on his investment. Look at the return. This man has no wife. This man has no kids. This man is wealthy. He is a megastar. And for those of you who just came in, he's on his way to Leonardo DiCaprio status. Michael B. Jordan is on his way to Leonardo DiCaprio status. Thank you, Tim Harden. The time is now for us. Thank you, Tim Harden. The time is now for us. Cash at BMI 3000. Cash at BMI 3000. He's winning. He is your Michael B. Jordan is your proverbial high value man. And he has reached a realm in terms of value, in terms of popularity, in terms of prestige. He has reached a realm of almost untouchability. I'm loving just watching his ascent. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I want to see that brother get bigger and bigger. I want to see Michael B. Jordan get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I want to see him get bigger. Okay. And I want to see other black men who invest in themselves in that way. I want to see them ascend also. It gets greater later. I cannot tell you the number of times in my life that I have been counted out. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many times, guys, I have been underestimated. I have been underestimated. Let me tell you guys straight up. I have been underestimated my entire life. My entire life. Underestimated. Underestimated my entire life. And that has only motivated me as I've sought to climb up the ranks of the world. It's only motivated me. And the people who once underestimated me, I don't deal with those people anymore. And many of the people who once underestimated me have been flabbergasted. They have been blown away. They have been blown away. I've been told that I am unassuming. I am unassuming. In other words, I've been told that I'm the type of Negro that you can sleep on. I'm a type of Negro. See, he's the kind of man that you can sleep on. Thank you, Michael Green. Thank you. You see this dude right here? You see Jordan Peele? Yeah, he got slept on. They were sleeping. Let me put it like, they were sleeping on this motherfucker. They were sleeping on his ass. They slept on him. They didn't think. They didn't see Get Out. They didn't know that Get Out was in his bones. They didn't see it. They just saw some goofy black dude, Key and Peele. They saw some goofy black dude who was a part of a duo. That's all they said. With a white mama. They just saw some goofy black dude. Some people say he was marginally funny. He wasn't really funny. They just saw some goofy black dude on Comedy Central. And that goofy black dude produced Get Out. That goofy black dude, they slept on that. They slept on his ass. He got slept on. Jordan Peele, they were sleeping on that. They were sleeping on that nigga. They slept on him. And once he dropped Get Out, people had to change the way they looked at Jordan Peele. Once he dropped Get Out, they had to change the way they look at him. They don't look at him the way they did when he was on Comedy Central. He's not that goofy dude anymore. He ain't that goofy dude anymore. You see this? He not that goofy dude anymore. They slept on him. He got slept on. Said he goofy. Goofy, huh? Goofy. He was on Parks and Recreation. It was the goofy. He's the goofy dude. He's the goofy dude. We gonna sleep on they slept on the goofy dude, and then the goofy dude dropped ATL, Atlanta. The goofy dude dropped Atlanta. The goofy guy. The childish Gamboo, he dropped Atlanta, and now they can't look at Donald Glover the same way anymore. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Heat. Thank you for that generous cash app, for that super chat. I enjoy what you do for us, Doc. Thank you, Mr. Heat, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. Salute to you 20 times. They will sleep on you. And that's what they do. They sleep on the corny dude. The corny dude gets slept on. The lame dude gets slept on. The goofy dude gets slept on. But the same corny dude, the same lame dude, the same goofy dude produces a blockbuster movie. Raymond Stewart, thank you for that cash app. Raymond Stewart, thank you for that cash app, my brother. Thank you for that cash app. They will sleep on you. And there's so many examples of black men who've been slept on. A whole bunch of them. They slept on, who were underestimated. They were subjected to either low expectations or no expectations. And those guys became superstars. Got slept on. And what's ironic, and what's ironic is that it's the cool people. So I can tell that young woman, L'Oreal, whatever her name was, she was around the cool chicks. Remember that? Remember the cool girls? Remember the cool girls? She was around the cool girls. The cool pretty chicks. Remember in high school? Remember the pretty girls that everybody wanted to get with in high school? She was pretty, she was popular, she might have been a cheerleader, she might have been a majorette. Or hell, she might have been a super pretty, super fine hood chick who was with the drug dealers, the dope boys. The dope boy would come and pick her up from school after school got out. And he was significantly older than her. And everybody wanted her. Everybody wanted her. All the fine chicks with all the personality and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, and everybody wanted to get with them. Everybody wanted to get with them because they were pretty. Everybody wanted them. They were popular and all that kind of stuff. And they were around the cool guys, on the football team and the basketball team and all that kind of stuff. And fast forward 10 years later, fast forward 15 years later, fast forward 20 years later, the hot chick that we knew, the pretty girl that everybody wanted, the popular girl that everybody wanted. Hell, I'm going to be gender inclusive. All the popular guys, all the cool guys, all the guys with the swag and all that kind of stuff. 10, 15, 20 years later, they were has-beens. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck, guys. Let's just keep it a buck. If you are over the age of 30 and you have lived, you've seen this, especially you corny black guys, you see the reversal, that everybody that you went to school who was not deemed corny or lame, when life kicked in as they became adults, everything changed. They were no longer the hottest thing on the block anymore. Now she got 3 kids from different fathers. This dude has been in and out of jail. He done been to prison. He done ruined his life. He got kids. This other guy, this jock, he never made it, the athlete, he never made it to the NFL. He never made it to the NBA. He had no alternative plans. When professional sports didn't work out, he had no alternative plans. And his life never went anywhere after his youthful days as an athlete. unfortunately, tragically. We're talking about life, guys. We're talking about life. And this is what happens when you have a culture that places too much stock in cool, when you have a culture that places too much stock in superficial things. This is what happens when you have a culture that places too much stock in immediate gratification. This is what happens. When you have a culture that is overly invested in popularity, invariably the culture produces failure. When popularity is the only currency you have, when popularity is your only source of value, invariably that popularity over a course of time will result in failure. Being corny, being lame, proverbially, is about achievement. It's about achievement. It's about achieving things. It is the opposite of failure. Thank you, Mr. Heat. Mr. Heat, we appreciate you, man, for that generous super chat. Salute to all you brothers who are unapologetically, and we're going to play with it, you're unapologetically corny. You're unapologetically lame. Because you win in the game of life at the end. You win in the game of life. And here's the other thing I want to say to you, especially when it comes down to the opposite sex. Let me tell you something about Michael B. Jordan. It is only, and this is a tragedy. It is only within the context of African American popular culture, it is only in terms of Black popular culture that someone like a Michael B. Jordan can be seen as lame. Other cultures don't operate that way. If you look at Africans, continental Africans, the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, the Kenyans, the Cameroonians, the Senegalese, the Gambians, the Tanzanians, the Ethiopians, African cultures do not treat the so-called cornies as corny. They don't. Michael B. Jordan would not be seen, Michael B. Jordan is not corny among continental Africans. He's not corny. He is not corny among Caribbeans. Continental Africans, they don't, Caribbean culture respects African culture, respects guys like that. They respect the so-called corny guy. In Asian cultures, whether you're talking about Korean culture, you're talking about Chinese culture, you're talking about Japanese culture, Filipino culture, Vietnamese culture, Thai culture, guys like that are not seen as corny. You're not seen as corny. That's why, here's the passports. When you cross the shores, when you cross the Atlantic and you go to other parts of the world, if you're the corny Black guy in the United States is not a corny black guy in other parts of the world. You're not corny in Nigeria. You're not corny in South Africa. You're not corny in Vietnam or Thailand. You're not corny in Brazil. This is a particular dysfunctional thing within Black Afro-American culture. And it's clear to me that it hasn't gone away with the generations. It's clear to me it has not gone away with the emerging young generations. So we have to motivate these guys to sever their ties from those elements within the culture that do not value them. And to seek affirmation and acceptance elsewhere. Passport game, passport bros, we up. Thank you, Millset Rose. Thank you, Millset Rose. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, my brothers. Get your passport, guys. Those of you guys who are on your way up and don't have passports, get them. Those of you all who already have your passports, travel, continue to travel. Don't start traveling. Don't stop traveling. Michael B. Jordan is an avatar for the travel movement, travel ideology. An avatar. I look forward. I look forward. Cody Marshall, thank you for that. You're absolutely right. He said, you see how the ABW, American Black Woman, would go with a white guy that's corny, but wouldn't touch the American Black man. Absolutely. Absolutely. She would go with a basic, let me emphasize that, a basic corny white dude. Matter of fact, she won't even call him corny. But I know what you mean. I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean. And he can be accepted. So if you think about a young Michael B. Jordan, if you take a young Michael B. Jordan that's white, if you take a young Michael B. Jordan and you paint him into a white person and you put him around the black girls and all that kind of stuff, or black females, there's nothing wrong with him. They're not going to say there's anything wrong with him. Because it's normal for a white guy. It is normal for a white guy to be responsible. It is normal for a white guy to have discipline. It is normal for a white guy to respect order. It is normal for a white guy to carry himself in a particular kind of way. It is normal for a white guy to like anime. It is normal for a white guy to be nerdy. It's normal for them. But it's abnormal for black guys. It's abnormal. Those things are abnormal. Thank you for that, my brother. Passport OG, good to see you, my brother. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Y'all check out Passport OG's channel. Thank you, my brother, for posting parts of my Sunday live streams. Thank you for that, my brother. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for that. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Michael B. Jordan is a poster child for Passport Bros, SYSBM. Now, because he's an entertainer, he can't say a lot about what's going on in his head. He can't say a lot. I know that brother would have a lot to say about the stuff that we're talking about. I would love to have a private conversation. I would love to have a private conversation with Michael B. Jordan about all this stuff. I would love to just have an honest, private conversation. I would ask him a dozen questions about all this stuff that we deal with in this space right here. I would ask him about, this perception that somehow or another he's corny or lame. He's clean cut. Here's the thing. Oh my God, clean cut. He is a clean cut black man, a clean cut black man, clean cut. Do you know that there are black people who think that being a clean cut black man is abnormal? If you're clean cut, if you're well groomed, listen, if you are a well groomed black man, there are some black people who think that you're abnormal. But I would love to have a wonderful conversation, private conversation with Michael B. Jordan about all these issues. About, man, what's going on with these women? They're always talking about you, man. What do you think? I mean, how do you feel about this stuff, man? Does it bother you? Does it bother you? Does it bother you? Do you ever feel like just coming out and say something publicly, directly about all these women, talking about your preferences and who you date, who you sleep with, and all this kind of stuff, and and them calling you corny and everything like that? I mean, man, what's up? How did you deal with that stuff, man, when you were a kid, a teenager? I would have a whole bunch of questions for him, man. And I would say, have you purposely, brother, have you purposely expanded your dating pool? Have you purposely expanded your dating pool, your pool of options because of a lot of these things? I would love to have that conversation with him. Sorry, Rogers, what's going on, man? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. Bless you, my brother. Bless you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I really want to say, guys, that we are now living in the age, and I don't like the word corny, but I don't like the word corny, but we're using it pragmatically. We're using the term pragmatically. I really want to say that we are living in the age of the corny black man. I really want to say that. I want to say that this is the age of the corny black man. And that corny black men are winning. Corny black men are winning. And then we need to encourage these young guys who are teenagers, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, up to 25, who are also corny. We need to encourage them to be who they are and to not succumb to all the pressure that they have to deal with, pressure to engage in a whole bunch of popular stupidity. Popular stupidity. the kind of pressure that tells black men that they need to dumb themselves down. And that's what it comes down to. The popular stuff, it tells black men, you need to dumb yourself down. You need to dumb yourself down in order to be popular. You need to turn your brain off. You need to turn your brain off in order to be accepted by people in the world. You need to live, you need to live an undisciplined, disorganized life in order to be seen as normal. We need to encourage young men who ain't about that stuff. We need to encourage them who are not about that dumbing down and about the chaos and recklessness. We need to encourage them and point them to resources and point them to avenues that will help develop them. And we must encourage them to have open minds so that at one day they would fully embrace passport travel ideology, if they don't do so right now, and SYSBM, Save Yourself Black Men. Because I'm serious that Passport Bros, SYSBM, in terms of the corny black man, this ideology, it needs to target younger black men so that they would not surrender to stupidity. I don't care how pretty the stupidity looks. Let me say it again. I don't care how pretty the stupidity is. There's a lot of stupidity out there that's very pretty. There's a lot of stupidity out there that has fat booties. They have nice bodies. Fine. There's a lot of fine stupidity out there. And you never want to surrender to stupidity that looks like Beyonce, stupidity that looks like Chloe Bailey, stupidity that looks like Sierra, stupidity that looks like Rihanna when she was thinner, stupidity that looks like Meg Thee Stallion. You don't want to surrender to that stuff. These brothers need support. But guys, it's been over 2 hours. I don't want to prolong time, man. I really don't want to prolong time. Thank you, Passport OG. Thank you, man. Y'all check out Passport OG's channel, man. Man, that brother be dropping it. He be dropping it, man. Okay, with the graphics and the philosophy and everything. That brother's doing it in Japan. He's doing it, living the passport life. Living it, guys. I look forward to seeing Creed, guys. I look forward to seeing Creed 3. I really do. And the brother Jonathan Majors, shout out to him. I know Jonathan Majors, he's been getting a lot of flack recently because of some of the, the stuff he did with Ebony Magazine and everything like that. He's been getting flack, but shout out to him. He's a great actor too, man. There are a lot of good actors, young black men who are in the millennial generation. There's a good number of those guys who are in their 30s, man. Those guys are really killing the game. They really are. They're really killing the game. Jonathan Majors is another one. Michael B. Jordan has a Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he's just beginning. Michael B. Jordan is just beginning. And I look forward to seeing what's next, the next chapter. I look forward to seeing that. I want to see that guy get bigger and bigger and bigger. I said it before. I want to see him reach, I want him to reach that Leonardo DiCaprio status. That's what I want to see. And in fact, I want him to move like DiCaprio. And he is kind of moving like that. What I mean by move like DiCaprio, that you are unfazed, by what people say about your personal life. That's what I mean. That people can throw darts at you and talk about your personal life, and you are completely unfazed by what they say about your personal life. I want to see Michael B. Jordan in that realm. He's there now. He's there now. He's there because the man lives his life. He lives his life. Okay. But to do what you want to do, you can date who do. If you want to date a Latina, you want to be with you an Asian, okay? You want to be with you a white woman from Eastern Europe. You want to be with you an African woman from Kenya, a Senegal, a Tanzania, or the Sierra Leone, or the Sudan. You want to be with you with a Brazilian woman. You want to be with you with a Filipino. You want to be with a Latina from Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Chile. You do it, and you don't give a doggone what anybody says about it. You don't give a doggone. He don't give a doggone. And I want to see that. I really want to see him break out of this need. Here's the thing. I'm going to wrap with this. I really want to see him break out of this dynamic he has with Black female viewers. I want him to transcend this Black female viewership population. Because I think there are some Black females who think that they can control him with their ticket dollars. I really do. I think there are some Black women out there, not all, but I think that there are some Black female fans who are really particular about his preferences. They somehow think that somehow or another they have some say over how far he can go as an actor because they buy tickets to his movies. And I want to see him break that up. I want to see Michael B. Jordan break that up. I don't want him to be dependent on the Black movie audience. I don't want him to be dependent on Black ticket dollars, particularly Black female ticket dollars. That is, in order for him to sell a movie, he has to make sure that he has primarily Black females in the audience. I want to see him break that up. And he's doing it so that the ticket buyers are buyers from all over the world. So that his career in terms of people buying tickets, okay, is not dependent upon one particular demographic. That if you're a global superstar, it's kind of like Will Smith. It's like Will Smith. Will Smith became a global superstar. He was not. Black moviegoers did not make Will Smith a superstar. I want y'all to get me. Black moviegoers did not make Will Smith a global box office success. It was the global international audience. It was the world movie watchers, viewers. That's what made Will Smith a global success. So you don't have to pander to Black viewers. You don't have to tailor your life in such a way where you're constantly concerned about how Black viewers are going to respond to your life choices. That's what I want. That's true SYSBM. That is true SYSBM right there. That's what it means to be SYSBM. When the world is responsible for your value. The world, writ large, the globe. When I mean your value, I'm talking about the currency that you are able to attain. Social currency, cultural currency, so on and so forth. It is not limited by the context or the demographic or the group that produced you. That's what it means to be global. That's what it means to be global. And that is what Passport Bros is all about. That is what travel ideology is all about. That is what SYSBM is all about. It is about not being confined to your geographic location, not being confined to the cultural constraints of the culture and group that produced you. And when I said the group that produced you, I'm not just talking about the Afro-American group. I'm talking about the American. You're an American. Remember now, you're not only a black person. We're talking about black men here. You are not only a black person, but you're also an American. If we're talking about this context in a real way, you're a black man who's been shaped in North America, but you're also an American. But you don't have to be limited by the American stuff. You're not limited by the fact that you are an American and that you're limited to the American experience. And that your currency is not confined to America, your social currency. Dusty Knots from the book of They So Lonely. Yea, spite and venom only grow out of seas and souls in empty and cobwebbed valleys. These unbounded maidens, they shall smite thee at every opportunity. Thank you, Dusty Nuts. Thank you, Dusty Nuts. Thank you, Dusty Nuts. Thank you for that, Dusty Nuts. From the book of They So Lonely. You're not limited. Megastar, global megastar, no limits, no boundaries. You see? Michael B. Jordan don't owe these, he doesn't owe the ABW anything. They didn't make him. Here's the thing. He don't owe them anything. The ABW did not make, this is the bottom line. They didn't make him. And he doesn't owe them anything. If I could talk to him privately, and he probably knows it, I say, brother, you don't owe her anything. She doesn't own you. And you do whatever you want to do creatively. As an artist, as an actor, as a director. SYSBM. Cody Marshall says that Michael B. Jordan is dating a UK model, right? You see? International. He is international. You watch, it's not what people say or what they don't say, it's what people do. It's not what you say, it's not what you don't say, it's what you do. Actions speak louder than anything. Your actions are where your treasure is, where your currency is. That's your action. That's what your actions. That's where your currency is. Okay. Anyway, guys, I've been here too long, man. I didn't mean to go so long. I didn't mean to go so long. Autobot Jasmine, good to see you, my brother. Autobot Jasmine says, I'm 24 now, not in the best position, but learning as much skills as I can, going to be myself regardless. I need you, brother. You are in. Don't even worry about not being in the best position, okay? Don't even worry about not being in the best position. And I wouldn't even say that you're not in the best position because you're 24. You're young. 20. Listen, your youth is your currency. It is your value. Your youth. Let me tell you something, guy. I'm 49. I'm about to be 50 in September. My day is a number, guy. My day is a number. I can't go back to my 20s. I can't go back to my 30s. I wouldn't want to go back. I wouldn't want to go back. I don't regret anything. But my day is a number. And what that means is that I might have maybe another 15, 20 years in front of me to work with to enjoy the rest of my life. I may have another 15, 20 years in front of me to enjoy the rest of my life. And I'm maximizing what's in front of me. But at 24, brother, at 24, you have so much possibility. Because see, at 24, let's add that 10 to 24, 34. Let's add another 10 there, 44. I need you, Autobot, to think about where your life is going to be, not just at 34, but I want you to think about 20 years from now, where your life will be 20 years from now when you're 44. And what you do now is so critical. Don't worry about, you might not be making a lot of money or whatever, and you might be renting a room from somebody. You might be living at home in the basement. Doesn't matter. No judgment here. The point is, the only thing that matters is what you're doing at this particular moment right now, and how what you're doing is building towards something. As long as you're building towards something, as long as you're building that resume, as long as you are building that resume, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You're not going to get a lot of rewards now, because when you're young, especially as a young man, our society doesn't treat young men well. Matter of fact, our society has never really treated young men well. When I was 24, I wasn't treated well. You know, people didn't value me when I was 24 years old. But that doesn't matter. You must value yourself. And what you have to do is continue to invest in yourself. And I guarantee you, if you continue to fight the good fight and keep the faith, and you build your resume, 10 years from now, you'll be in a different place. You'll be in a better place. So don't even worry about that. But still be yourself. Never compromise. Be yourself. And take some advice from Passport OG. Passport OG, he says, learn a language or two while you are grinding. He said, learn a language. This is very good. Learn a language or two while you're grinding. 15, 20 minutes a day. This is good advice. My brother, Jasmine 98, this is good advice. Learn a language or two while you're grinding. You will not regret it, brother. You will not regret it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to check on out of here, man. I thank you guys for joining this stream on this afternoon, Friday afternoon, March the 3rd, 2023. Always remember to keep that long memory, guys. Long memory. Corny black men should never forget. Don't forget. You don't have to allow the pain to live with you from those early experiences when people called you corny and lame or what have you. You can move beyond that pain or whatever came with that, and most of us do anyway. We outgrow it because we live. But you don't forget. You don't forget. Never forget. Long memory. Every black man should have long memory. Every black man should have long memory. Don't you allow these people to convince you that you need to erase your memories. Maintain, every black man should have long memory. And that's all I got, guys. Thank you guys for listening. And I will see you guys on another Man Professor broadcast. I'm out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Have fun this weekend. Have safe fun. Yeah, I'm gonna see Creed, man. I look watching Creed. I really see Creed 3. I look forward to it, man. Um, hey, black man, it's your time. Black men, it's our time. That's right, Jehovah Witnesses, and they are successful. All the Jehovah Witnesses that I know are successful. All of them. All of the Seventh Day Adventist people that I know. I have never met a Seventh Day Adventist person who was not successful. All of the Jehovah Witnesses that I know, successful in life. Seventh Day Adventist people who I know, successful in life. All of them I know. Just, maybe you might know some failure, but I don't know. I've never met people in those groups who live lives of failure. Okay? And yes, they're corny. Corny. You're absolutely right. Peace out, brothers. I'm out of here. It's the Man Professor. BMI, BMH, BME, and BMA. Woo!